Hello everyone, and welcome. I don't have a ton of time today, so I didn't want to go too far from home. You're probably going to hear some traffic noise. I'm right off the highway. There's a plowed turnaround spot. I just parked in there, threw on my snowshoes, and walked up the hill into the bush. Now, there will be traffic noise, and if a train goes by, we're in for it because the train tracks are just behind the camera here. Let me just spin the camera and I'll show you. Train track is right there, right on that little ridge. You've all heard me say we're getting ready for a move. We're going to be moving soon. Well, we were supposed to have the keys on Friday, but unfortunately the handyman didn't have time to get all the work done because he also has to do repairs in other apartments when they need it. Every time it snowed, he has to stop and go outside and shovel all the snow, or run the snowblower along all the walkways and stuff. There's just no way he had time to get it done. But we are getting the keys sometime this week. That being said, I packed a lot of our stuff. And I packed a lot of stuff in the camping room. And unfortunately, I packed a lot of my gear. My dry bags that I normally use to carry my food, yeah, those are packed. So I've just got my lunch shoved in the bottom of my backpack. Most of my saws and everything else is all packed. I have a saw and my hatchet. I left those out. But all my pots and pans, the only thing I left out was my Stanley Adventure set and my fire maple cook pot. All my other kitchen stuff is all put away. I wanted to do a video, didn't know what I was going to do. And I was looking through Amazon and I came across a stove sold under different names. I bought the Wadeo one. There's a couple of others that I saw. Some of them are just a mangle of letters I'm not even going to try and pronounce. But it varied in price. I bought it at $25.99. I've seen it at $40. I've seen it at $35. I seen one at $65. It's all the same stove, made by the same company. When I was looking at the different priced ones from different places, they even use the same advertisement. It's all the same pictures, everything's identical, other than the price. So for $25.99, I figured, what the hell, I'll buy it, and at least it gives me something to make a video on today. So let me shovel out a small area here, and we'll get set up and I'll show you this stove. So here's the stove. Not very big. I weighed it before I left the house. It comes in at just over 2.2 pounds. Here's what it looks like. Now, the way this was made, they cut every piece and then they wrapped it with that blue film to protect it. When I tried to pull all the film off last night, it took me forever and I did not get it all because they wrapped each piece and then they put it together. You can see some of the blue is underneath the rivets. Not sure if you can see, but where these pieces are folded over to give it a nice edge, it was all wrapped and then they folded it over, so there's still some of the blue plastic underneath those flaps. That being said, I was going to buy a couple of burgers or a steak and show that I can make tea on it. I can grill directly on it. There's a lot you can do with it. But because of all the blue film that's still stuck in the cracks and crevices, I decided I would just bring a can of soup. I'm going to make some tea. I'm going to make some soup. That way none of the blue plastic is going to get inside the pot and onto the food. I'll be okay. After it's been burnt today, the plastic will all be gone. Next time I bring it out, I can bring something to grill on top. But it folds nice and small. You open it up just by pulling it apart. The sidewalls are on hinges. There's a grill inside that drops into place. And that's to hold your wood. There's also this steel plate These edges are notched out and folded over to help get air underneath your fire. This plate you slide in from the side, but you slide it above. And then that creates an ash catcher in the bottom. It has a door on the front here that locks, and as you can see, the ash catcher just fell out. So once you put it in, set it where it goes and leave it. If you tip it, the ash catcher slides. But there's a door here that opens. It has just a twisty lock on it. But I'm sure that once it's locked, you could probably fill this with charcoal and use it as a charcoal barbecue. It's another idea for it. You can use it with twigs. They say you can use it with an alcohol stove, but I think the alcohol stove would be a bit too low. I haven't tried it. I don't really use an alcohol stove, so I may eventually pick one up, but as of right now, I don't really have an interest in it. I much prefer using something like this, or just cooking directly on the campfire. Once this is all set up, it comes with a small grill that you just pop on top. Now I can use it. Any size pot will fit on top. Or I can just use it as a grill to grill. It's not very big. I think it's 5 by 5 by 8. I wrote the measurements down. I forgot the paper at home. But you can see the size of it. It's not super huge. And with the door open, you can light your fire inside. And even if you have longer pieces of wood, they can stick out. And then you just push them in as they burn. Also comes with, ooh, that wind is picking up. I hope you can hear me over the mic and it's not too bad. A pocket bellows that just extends out so that you can blow air into your fire if you need to get it going. You get a lot of these with different stoves you buy and different things you get. I probably have like 3 or 4 of them at home. And the next thing it comes with is one of these. It's a wire saw. It's a fairly thin wire with a key ring on either end. Now, I don't hold a whole lot of faith in these. I think they're just gonna break eventually. They're not gonna last super long. But while we have it, let's play with it. The temperature today is not too bad. That's why I'm able to grab it with just my fingers. But normally, you would want a pair of gloves. Now let's just try this out. These are just thin gloves. Cold steel on bare hands. Even with my thin gloves, I can get my finger through. But these are not insulated gloves, so they're not going to help all that much. They're great for when I'm playing with the fire. They're not very great for keeping my hands super warm. But let's get this opened up. There's a nice dead tree right here. So let's see if we can cut some wood with it. Oh, I hear a train coming round the bend. So this is nice and dry. It's dead. It's actually broken off. I'm hoping it'll hold long enough that I can cut a piece. Let's put this through here. Okay. It's cutting. But because this is loose, I can't really put any pressure on it like this. Let's try and set up down on the ground. I put the wire around the branch. Now I can keep a foot on it. Yeah, like I said, these are not great. There we go. So it does work. So as you can see, with this wire, the struggle is real. I mean, this is not a big stick by any means. In a pinch, if you absolutely had to cut one or two pieces, maybe. But other than that, I think when I get this home, I'm gonna throw out the wire and just keep the key rings because they're good key rings. I did bring along the Boreal 24. So I'm just going to use this, cut this up, and then we'll get ready to light the fire. The holes in this grate down here are pretty big. Like I can stick my finger through there. So what I want to do is take a few of these and just make a bit of a base. I'm going to remove the grill for now. I'm going to get this lit. And then I'll stack some wood. Once again, I'm just going to use one of my fire lighters. Spread it apart to get some fine fibers. I have a nice piece of birch bark here that I can rest it on. Well, that's a first. Usually once it lights, it stays that way. There we go. You have to keep in mind, when I made these, I made a lot of them. They're about 2 years old. But they're still working. Stove's burning away. I'm about to put some water in the pot to get ready to start making some tea. On the walk in this morning, I came across something interesting that I hadn't seen before. Keep in mind that I'm parked in a turnaround where the snow plows turn, or where transports park once in a while. If it's an emergency, they have to pull off. And then I just walked up this hill and I came across an antique telephone in a tree. I'm going to show you a clip of it right now. You're going to see this is amazing. I loved it. What are the odds? I'm out here today just to do a short video. I didn't want to drive all the way out to where I normally go, so I just pulled over on the side of the highway, grabbed my snowshoes and my sled, and I came walking down this. This is just a skidoo trail, looking for a spot where I can do my video for today. And I come across this. It says, "Telephone of the Wind. This phone is for everyone that lost a loved one. It is a phone for memories and for saying the goodbye you never got to say." If you open this, there's a small notepad with a pen, a couple of bottles of hand sanitizer, and some Kleenex. I come across this today, and early in January this year, my sister lost her fight against cancer. It's only been a few weeks. I can't believe I came across this. But what a terrific idea. I'm not one for leaving stuff in the woods, but something like this, wow. And it looks like it's very well maintained. Whoever's taking care of this, fantastic job. There's even a small bench I love this idea. Thank you to whoever's taking care of it. Wow. Let's get this water on. And here's what I was saying, long sticks, you can just leave them in there long and push them in as they burn. Now when I saw that and what it was about, I thought that was just the most amazing idea. It's fantastic to come across a spot like that with the timing that I came across it, and have the opportunity to say one final goodbye. Enough dwelling on that. Let's get our mind back onto the tea and the lunch and the eating, because I'm getting hungry. Lunch is going to be nice and easy. I brought a can of President's Choice Indian chicken mulligatawny. I hope I said that right. They've got quite a few flavors. They've got one's an Italian wedding, one is Thai, this one is Indian. They have a regular just chicken noodle soup. And there's another one I don't remember. I'm trying to remember to put them all down, but I've tried them all. Some are a little spicier than others, but they're all delicious. Water's boiling. I've got my tea ball filled with chaga. And we're just going to leave that there for a minute or so. Nice and dark. Hasn't been there very long. I just put the ball in and let it come back to a boil. I'm going to lay it right here on the ground next to the stove. And then here's our soup. Okay, I think that tea has been steeping long enough. Put that tea ball on top of the empty can. Let that cool down before I try and dump it out. Forgive the sunglasses, but with that sun out, I'm okay now. I'm behind this tree, but as soon as that sun moves just a little bit, that snow is blinding. That stove is made of stainless steel, so it shouldn't warp too much. We'll have to use it a few times and see. So far, I kind of like it. Not sure about that grill, how long it'll last. But we'll keep an eye on it. Oh yeah. That's hot. Pull that off for a second. Take the grill off. Now, I want to make sure this gets a really good burn and gets rid of all that plastic. So let's see if I can close this door. And just pile a whole bunch of stuff in here. So here's our soup. And I like lots of crackers in my soup. I prefer my soup to eat like a meal. So I'm crushing these up. And now we'll give it a good stir. Nice and thick. I'm going to set that by the fire for a sec. Not on it, just close to it. Just to let those crackers absorb some of the soup. Time to try this soup. It smells good. Tastes delicious. This is fantastic. Hard to beat a nice hot bowl of soup on a cold day. So that was really good. The telephone I was mentioning earlier, it's actually right through these trees. I can almost see it from here between the trees. It's right beside the main snowmobile trail. I didn't want to be sitting right next to the trail in case anybody happened to go by in a snow machine or whatever. I didn't want to be in anybody's way. So I walked just a little ways into the woods, found a nice little spot and set up. It was almost like having one last lunch with my sister. Beautiful spot. Well, let's check on this stove, shall we? I had closed the door and filled it with wood. Beautiful. It seems to burn very hot. And it burns pretty much everything right down to ash. I finished my tea. So I dumped out the ashes in the stove. In the summer, I can see the stainless steel taking a long time to cool because it is stainless steel. In the winter, With the help of the snow, just a couple of minutes. Look at the beautiful color distortions on this thing. I'm sure the more I burn it, the nicer it'll be. Door still works fine. Even the ash plate has some nice coloring to it. Now the real question, how does it fold up? Turn it upside down. It knocks that grate down. Folds right back up to the size it was. And fits beautifully back into the bag. All in all, for 25 bucks, I think that's going to be a great little stove. With tax and all, I think it came up to $29 and a bit of change. Seems to work well. Great by myself. It's a little heavy for those who want to do ultralight backpacking, but I don't ultralight. Whatever I want to carry, I carry. And in the canoe, who cares about the weight? So in the summer, if I want to bring it in the canoe and go have lunch somewhere, it'll be great for that too. I'm going to fold up the chair, get ready to head out of here. I want to thank you all for coming along. Always a pleasure having you with us. We always have a great time out here. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. When you do, it'll have a drop-down menu. In that menu, select all, and that should let you know whenever we put out a new video. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.